How to use the class scheduler in XE registration. First, you'll start off by going to your my.uic portal and logging in and clicking on XE registration. Again, you have the 6 menu options. The class scheduler is a great tool because you input the classes that you need to take, you can add any breaks that you need, and then the system will automatically generate every possible schedule for you, and you select the schedule that you like the most. It basically does all the work for you. So we're going to click on View Class Scheduler. You're going to select the correct term, click Save and Continue. And on this page, you're going to have a couple of default settings. So one is open classes only, which is what you want. We don't want to be looking at classes that are closed already. All parts of term selected. It's good to keep that as a default, and then verify this is the correct term up top. So to begin, you're going to click on Add Course. And there's a few different ways that you can search. So today we're going to search by subject. So I'm going to add kinesiology as the subject. And then when you click on the course menu, you'll see every possible course that still has seats available. So in this case, I want to add KN 100. And then you'll see that the course description appears, so you can read this, verify that you've met the prerequisites, or just verify that this is the correct course you want to take. Once you've done that, you can click on Add Course. You see that it starts populating on the right-hand side here. If I want to add another course, in this case, it is the same subject, so I would just go back to the course drop-down menu and I would select 136. The course description updated. I verified it's the correct course. One benefit of using the class scheduler is that the system is automatically going to register you for all of the various sections that you'll need. So for example, KN 136, to be properly registered, students must enroll in one lecture discussion and one laboratory. By using the class scheduler, it's going to automatically enroll me in both of those. So you don't have to worry about getting a linked course error when you use the class scheduler. Now I'm ready to add KN 136 to my list. If I wanted to search any different way, there are a few options up top here. So the first is section attribute. General education courses at UIC have what's called an attribute. So if you come down here and you click on attribute, let's say that you know that you want to take a creative arts gen ed. You can click here. Then the subject menu will populate all the subjects that have a creative arts course. So you can scroll through here. In this case, I would like to take a theater course. And then you click on the course menu to see what courses are still available. If I'm wondering what Theater 101 is all about, again, I can click on the course and a box will pop up. You can do the same thing if you need to search by a different general education category. The other way to search is search by instructor. This one isn't used as often, but if you have an instructor that you've really taken a liking to, you can see what courses are being taught in any given semester by that faculty member. In this case, I can see Dr. Hamster writes course schedule for the fall. However, I know by clicking on the courses and reading the prerequisites at this time, I'm not eligible to take any of those courses, so I will just catch her in a future semester. The final way to search is by the CRN. So perhaps you need a specific section of a course that your advisor gave you. The CRN is the 5-digit code that identifies that course. So you can enter that course code as well and then automatically add the course here. We're going to go back to subject and we're going to continue adding some kinesiology courses. And my final course, I want to take a human nutrition class. So we're going to find nutrition. We're going to come down here. I want to take 196, which is basic nutrition, and I'm going to click Add Course. Once I've completed adding all of my courses, I'm going to click the Done button. On the right-hand side, this is where you can add a break. Breaks basically tell the system, don't schedule me for classes during this window. So for example, you can see here, I created a break for work because I know that I need to be at work by 6 p.m., 7 p.m. every evening. So I've asked the system, don't schedule me for classes between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. If I wanted to add a different break, let's say I wanted to eat lunch at a certain time every day, select weekdays, and then you can add the break as well. I'm going to edit my work break to start a little bit earlier because maybe my work schedule changed on any given semester, so you can go in and edit, select the term it's effective for, and then click Save Break. For the most part, classes at UIC are Monday through Friday. However, there are a few labs that meet on Saturdays. So if you know that you do not want to attend classes on Saturdays, it would be a good idea to just go ahead and block off Saturdays. I'm going to leave it to the default, start time 8 a.m., end time 11 p.m. That'll block off the entire day, and I'll click on Saturday. Again, it is rare, but some science labs meet on Saturdays. Now that you've got all your breaks added, now that you've got all your courses added, you're going to come down here and you're going to select generate schedules. In this case, the system generated 3 schedules for me, which is wonderful. Sometimes you'll get over 1,000 options. If that happens, I recommend going up here and adding some more breaks to whittle down your options. Once I want to view my options, you can roll your mouse over the magnifying glass and a preview is going to pop up of your course schedule. You'll see the big blocks in purple. Those are the breaks that I added in. That is when I told the system, don't schedule me for classes during this time. The other colors represent individual classes. So you can view a preview of the schedule by rolling your mouse over the magnifying glass. If I want to view a schedule in detail, I would just click on view. You'll see that the potential schedule is listed up top here. And then if you scroll down, you can view it on a calendar. If I went to look at all the schedules, you can navigate to the top of the screen. You'll see it where it says schedule 1 of 3. You can click the arrow to move to the next schedule. If there's any particular course or section that you want to keep, what you can do is lock that specific section. I really want this 8 a.m. section of KN 152, so I'm going to lock that section. Then what I'm going to do is click the back button. I'm going to generate schedules again, and there's only one schedule for me to choose from with that lab time. So if I change my mind, maybe I don't want the 8 a.m. lab, you can unlock it. Again, click the back button, click generate schedules again. You can also compare schedules side by side. I've determined that schedule 2 is the schedule that I want. So what I will do is I will click send to shopping cart. Now, just like online shopping, now you actually have to check out in order to get registered for the semester. So it is going to take you back to the screen. You're going to click on register for classes. You're going to select the correct term. Then you will land on this page. You'll see that there are multiple tabs across the top. You're going to click on the tab that says plans. And here you can see all of the classes from the class scheduler that we sent to our shopping cart. The easiest way to do this is to click add all here on the far right hand side. You can also go in and add them individually, but clicking add all will do it all for you all at once. You'll see 2 more windows populated at the bottom. Again, you can view a preview of the weekly calendar here. If you decide you need to double check anything about the course, you can click on the name of the course. You can read the course description. You can see if there's any restrictions on that particular course. It is very important to note that if the classes are gray like this, and the status is pending, that you are not actually registered. Despite the fact that it says web registered in this column, again, you want to pay attention to the status column. So right now my registration is pending. I am not fully registered. It is important that when you get to this screen, you move quickly because sections do fill up. And so if there's only 1 or 2 seats left, by the time you've come in here and verified everything, somebody might have swooped in and grabbed that final seat. So I'm going to click submit to fully register for my classes. Everything on the calendar view has turned into a pretty color, and everything in the status column has turned to registered, so that means I'm completely registered. It's important to note that if you have any online asynchronous courses, they're not going to appear on your calendar weekly view. So for example, if you see KN 150, I am registered, but if you don't see it over here, that means I'm registered for an online asynchronous section. You can click on the Schedule Details tab to view the building and the room numbers and any other additional information about the course. You can also come in here and click on these buttons right here to make any panel of the screen a little bit bigger. If you need to print this or screenshot it to share with somebody, you could do that. One other thing that you can do when you are on the screen is you can verify the number of credit hours you're registered for, and information is listed here at the bottom. So So in this case, I see that I'm registered for 14 credit hours, which means I'll be billed for 14 credit hours. It's important to note that UIC charges tuition by credit hour ranges. So anything over 12 hours is considered full-time. So whether I take 12 credit hours or 14, I'm paying the same dollar amount. You can Google UIC tuition advice to view the exact credit hour ranges and costs associated with registering for classes at UIC. And that is how you use the class scheduler.